What's up, guys? It is the Singing Bee, and I've got another gameplay commentary for you, and I am super excited about this one. This one is probably one of my best games I've ever had. I think I go 73-7 or something, which is great, right? Because I absolutely shat on people, and I'll give you a little bit of a story about it. We were playing in a 4-person party, and it was me, Bradford, one of my close friends, JC, and another guy that we're good friends with who we play with a lot. His name is Alan, and he's a good guy. And we were all playing in a party, and then he left, and he didn't say anything, which was weird, but he just kind of disappeared, and we were like, oh, I guess maybe he had to leave. I don't know what happened. Well, we get into this game, and all of a sudden he's in the lobby again, except he's on the other team. And he is by far the best player out of the 4 of us, and so we were all like really nervous, like, oh crap. And what ended up happening was Alan and I were running similar kill streaks, I think, and he would always get his a little bit before mine, and their team was just a little bit in the lead, and this turned into a battle of the Titans where Alan and I just went back and forth. And I'm gonna save what happens for the end. You're gonna have to watch and find out. But this is a terrible example of what I'm going to talk about in this video, and I think it's kind of ironic because I'm going to do it anyway, and it's a nice long video, and I've got a little bit to talk about. So I think this is going to be a really interesting video. I'm going to talk about teams and you know, how to work as a team. And I know this isn't a good example because I'm playing Kill Confirmed, which might I say 73 kills on Kill Confirmed, even in Ground War. That's pretty crazy. And I don't play as a team member at all, so that's pretty bad. But anyway, let's get into it. So what makes a good team player, right? Well, for me, when I'm looking for a team player, I want somebody who's going to do 3 main things. 3 or 4, alright? One of them's kind of a two-parter. One, they're going to stick to their part of the team. You know, everybody's going to have a role, and I'll talk about the roles later, but when they get assigned that role, or when that role's kind of put upon them, they're going to stick to that. They're not going to go off and do something really crazy and hectic, right? Also, they're going to be able to adjust, and they're going to be able to adjust on the fly. Because, you know, everyone's going to have their role, and then if somebody, you know, is unable to, you know, finish their role or, you know, accomplish their goal, you know, I need a teammate who can step in and do that, you know, for them. So we're not ever in a spot where nobody can get anything done. And also they need to be able to communicate. And this is kind of the two-parter. First of all, I need them to tell me what's going on, you know, what they see, what they know all the time. I need to be hearing from people, you know, anytime they see an enemy, when they're on an objective, all those things, I need to know that so I know, you know, how I need to play the map and what I need to do and maybe what I should be looking out for. And also they need to be able to listen, you know. If I'm in a certain spot and I say, hey, I need 2 people, you know, I need 2 teammates that are going to be right over there, you know, as soon as they can. Those are the 2 things I think that go into communication. So, you know, there are 3 or 4 things that I really look for in a good team player. And there are several types of team players. A team should have, you know, different kinds of people to make it most successful. And I wrote down a couple things here. I think the first is a Slayer. The Slayer is kind of like, I don't want to say that all teams need a Slayer because I think some people have this bad idea of Slayers, like, you know, they're just KD whores and they don't play the objective. But really a Slayer can be a vital role. While they may not be on top of the objective the whole time, they may be putting AC-130s in the air, which we all know really fucking sucks, right? When you've got an AC-130 raining down on you and you're trying to defend a flag or something, you know, it's not easy at all. It's definitely much harder to take a flag when there's something like that in the air. And so a Slayer is able to do that. You know, they're able to contribute a huge part of the team. Like in Black Ops, kill streaks could completely turn around a game, right? If somebody got Blackbird, Chopper Gun, or Dogs, that could completely turn around the pace of a game. The team that was, you know, winning could be getting their butts kicked real fast. And it's not so much like that in Modern Warfare 3, but it definitely has that element, you know. Games can turn around because of kill streaks, and you need somebody who can provide that. Now, there's 2 ways to look at the rest of the team. You can either have like a stacked team where people play more forward than others, or you can play as a line where you've got your team spread out across the map. Let's talk about an objective game like let's say Demolition. That'll be the easiest to explain. You got one team on one spawn and one team on the other. Now, ideally, you're going to have like 2 lines. You're going to have a forward line and a back line, or line 1 and line 2. And since you've got a Slayer, that brings you down to, let's say, you know, 5 teammates. Well, put 3 people on line 1, kind of spread out across the map, and 2 people in back. And now what line 1's responsibility is to do is to push forward through an objective. If you get to a demolition, like a bomb, your job as the first line is not to get there and then camp on the bomb. Your job is to push forward through the bomb into like a next choke point, because you're always looking for points where you can choke the enemy, where they have to go through that part of the map in order to get to the objective or wherever they're trying to go. And if you can choke them there, they're not going to be able to get out. So you're looking for those, and your job as line 1 is to push past the objective to the nearest choke point and cut them off, or maybe even the next choke point. And then line 2's job is to push up kind of to the objective and interact with that objective or defend it, right? And so even after line 2, say, plants the bomb in demolition, it's not line 1's job to fall back and defend the bomb. They still need to stay forward, so that way they can keep the enemy completely away from the objective. And then if they go down, they can say, hey, I've got one coming left. And so the line 2 knows, hey, somebody's going to be coming from the left. And then that, by the time, you know, that's taken care of, the first guy should be able to spawn back in. And hopefully all hell doesn't break loose and, you know, 3 people don't go down all at the same time. Or you can have kind of a team that works like a gate. Now, what I mean by that is, instead of having your team stacked as in forward and back, it's just going to be a straight line across the map. And the reason that it's a gate, let's say you've got your line. Now what the left side is going to do is stay still, while the right side kind of pushes forward and swings up. And then what's going to happen is, as they push up, they're going to be able to see across the map to their left. And then they're going to be able to flank the people that are maybe watching the guys on the left. And then after they flank those people and they kind of get established, the guys on the left can pull up even with them, and then maybe even go a little bit farther ahead, and then they can flank the people to their right. And that way the line just kind of gates forward till you get to your objective. And once you get to your objective, once again, it's extremely vital that you push forward and through that objective. And if you can do that, you're just going to keep your enemies away from it. And I know the spawns are really sensitive in this game, and I haven't had much time to play with like a full party, but, you know, that's the most logical way to do things. It's worked in other games. I see no reason why it won't be just as successful in this game. And these kind of strategies are also just for games that, you know, you're having to push to a certain point. Sometimes sabotage can be that way, sometimes demolition can be that way, but for like capture the flag, it's completely different. But at the same time, you know, it's still vital that you have, you know, a team that is working on taking the flag, and they're working on pushing up and kind of, you know, being the group of people that shakes up their spawn. And then you've got line 2, which is worried about controlling the map, calling out where enemies are, watching the flag. If the flag gets pulled, telling line 1 where they went, you know, so they can cut them off. All these things are extremely, extremely important. And, you know, it just goes back to everybody being a good team player and adjusting. You know, say you're doing that gate team strategy. If somebody goes down, people have to rotate over. They have to be able to adjust. The person who goes down needs to call out where the guy's at. You know, team players need to stick together apart. Somebody who needs to be interacting with the objective doesn't need to be acting like they're the Slayer. And the Slayer doesn't need to be, you know, if you're slaying and you're dying a lot, maybe you should say, is anybody having a good game? You know, let somebody else take over that role. If they're having success in that game and try and play the objective or try and play defense, you know, just be able to adjust and change. And all of these things, I promise, are going to help your team. The number one most important thing, though, is definitely communication. Just talk with your teammates, and it's really, really going to help your guys' game if you can do that. If you don't have a team, check out sites like Huppet Gaming, GameBattles.com. There's all kinds of ways that you can find teams. I love Huppet Gaming. It's my personal favorite. If you guys want me to, I'll do a video on that. If you click the video on the screen, though, it'll show you a video from Kowloon on Black Ops, and I can kind of talk about the game for a little bit. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.